What's up, YouTube? I'm, of course, Guy, and today we're going to do a little bit of a live stream, I guess. I've had some viewer questions show up in comments, on Facebook groups, in emails. I thought I'd go over some of those and also talk to anybody in the live stream comments that happens to show up here. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and get started, I guess. Thanks to everyone that's here right now. Looks like we've got a couple coming in. First thing I wanted to do today, or first thing I wanted to talk about today, there was a thread on the Horology 101 Facebook group. I probably should have had that open before I got started. In that thread, there was some questions that viewers of the channel, members of that Facebook group had asked. And yeah, I just wanted to go over some of those. So give me one sec here to pull that up. You guys can't hear me? Hey, JM, you keep saying muted over and over. Can you not hear me? Testing 1, 2, testing. Can you guys hear me? All right, good deal. I don't know why JM keeps saying muted over and over. Anyway, John Richards, how you doing? David, how's it going? Who else do we got here? Jerry, good evening. Nice to see you. Ray Maduro, thanks for letting me know the sound's okay. Paul, how you doing? All right. So yeah, if you guys missed a little bit of the introduction, I just wanted to go over some viewer questions that I've been getting, emails, in the comments of videos, and on the Horology 101 Facebook group. And yeah, if you guys had any questions as well. The very first one I was going to address, somebody asked in Horology 101, what the heck's up with my channel name? What's the story behind JustBlueFish? They asked me. I'm surprised more people didn't catch on to that, especially since the logo on my channel is like the little shark jaws coming up out of the water. It's a reference to the movie Jaws, technically Jaws 2, when Sheriff Brody's kind of losing his mind over the shark and starts shooting his revolver into the ocean, and some guy on the beach is yelling, "It's just bluefish, it's just bluefish." I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Jaws movies, in particular the first two. So for whatever reason, that was why I chose that name. Not really anything else to it. Pretty simple, basically. The next question that I was going to go over, I'm just looking through this list here on the Horology 101 thread that people all posted questions to. Jeff, here's my question. Would you take a 2-year-old Tudor Black Bay Heritage burgundy bezel with ETA movement, thinner profile, different design, better bracelet, or a new model with the in-house movement, the thicker case, and the odd bracelet? Well, I literally just reviewed an older, it was not the burgundy bezel, it was the blue bezel version, but an older ETA version of the Tudor Black Bay. And I think that while, of course, the new movement is impressive, much more impressive than the ETA movement, everything else about the watch I prefer in the older Tudor Black Bay. The dial, I think that's cooler for sure. I'm a much bigger fan of the bracelet. I'm not a big fan of the riveted bracelet on the new Tudor Black Bay. You know, I can't really. I guess it's just because it's like faux rivets, and I've never been a big fan of like fake patina on watches, or in this case, faux rivets on the bracelet. It's just honestly not for me. So to answer Jeff's question, yeah, if I was going to be purchasing a Tudor Black Bay, and I think I made it pretty clear in that review that I did of it just the other day, I would go with the older one for sure. I think cooler. What do we got? We say howdy here. Your review made me appreciate the Submariner more. Thanks, I guess. I'm surprised that you didn't already appreciate the Submariner, to be honest. But I'm glad you liked it. JM, what time is it? I've got about 6:14 p.m. What do we got here? Karen, if you have $2,000 to spend on one watch collection, what would you buy? I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe, I mean, for me, if I'm only going to have one watch, it's going to probably be a sports watch. And I don't know if you saw a review I did recently of an Oris 65. That was a really cool watch, right in that ballpark. Matter of fact, you could probably get that watch for a whole heck of a lot less if you either go gray market or pre-owned. But, you know, some sort of sports watch. An Oris, that would be a big contender. Probably some sort of dive watch. Other than that, you know, I'm not really sure. That I've always felt that like price bracket of like above the entry level and kind of below that higher luxury level is really weird. Like there's not a whole ton of stuff in there that really interests me. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, definitely I would consider an Oris. Both the Aquis and that Oris 65 have been really cool. We got lots of comments rolling in here. What else? Let's see if I can answer some more of you guys' live stream comments here. Is the universe a fabric from JM? I don't know what that means. Jerry, love the Explorer 39. You know the funny thing about, and if you watched my videos about the Explorer, it was quite an interesting journey. In retrospect or in hindsight, the 39 millimeters, I think that so much about it just felt not too big, just ill proportioned for me. It wasn't comfortable on the wrist. I didn't like looking at it on my wrist. It's interesting when you have just a simple 3-hand watch without really any complications, without a dive bezel. Smaller is better for me. You know, the Explorer 39's dial is really far spread out. The bezel, the thickness from edge to edge is kind of big. Everything just seems a little oversized to me on the Explorer 39. Let's keep going here through the comments. What do you look for in a tool watch? Well, if you guys have watched my channel, you know, like accuracy is like one of the most important things to me. Obviously, first and foremost, I would say it has to be aesthetically appealing. I have to want to look at it and want to wear it. But after that, like I just want a really solid, accurate movement. You know, a lot of people obviously throw that cliched saying, if you're worried about accuracy, get a quartz watch. And I like quartz watches, don't get me wrong. But I also really like accurate mechanical or automatic watches. So, you know, that's what I look for. What do we got here? We say, howdy here. My bias is pro Grand Seiko. I do like the Submariner, but I feel like the ubiquity makes it less interesting. I reviewed that Grand Seiko Snowflake, and it was beautiful. They're very, very nice. So, you know, I can't blame you there. Hey, NI addictive guy. I'm curious. Is that like Native Instruments, like the software synthesizer stuff, or is it something totally different? But you say Black Bays had both in-house and ETA, flipped them both quick. I bought into the Tudor fad and then realized Tudor is a fad. I was gonna say in my review of Tudor, would it be as popular if it didn't have the name Tudor on it, or more specifically, if Tudor didn't have a connection to Rolex? I won't go so far as to say it's a fad, but I see what you're saying. And I don't know the answer to that. Would it be as popular if there wasn't that Rolex connection? Peter Williams, how you doing? If you change straps regularly and also use NATOs, should you renew the spring bars regularly? I don't know. I never really thought about that. It couldn't hurt. They're cheap. It's cheap insurance. Why not, right? What else we got? David, Snipers. What about micro brands? Laurier, Nezumi, Baltic. There are so many micro brands out there that I won't really say anything specific about any one individually, but I think someone had emailed me actually and asked me, like, what do I think about micro brands and, you know, in general. And I think in a lot of ways, micro brands, at least the more entry-level ones below $500, are kind of giving us that thing that Seiko used to give us, in that they're good high-value watches. I mean, heck, a lot of them are using Seiko movements. And Seiko, if you saw the video I did talking about Seiko, I call it jumping the shark, but nevertheless, my disappointment with the way that Seiko has been going, they're kind of moving the 6R15 movement up market into more expensive watches. They're doing tons of limited editions. They're canceling or discontinuing really popular watches. I think that, in a way, micro brands are filling that void that Seiko is creating, and that's cool. So, there's that. As far as specific ones, like, I don't know, I haven't seen that many of them, but the few that I have seen, they've all been pretty good, I think, off the top of my head. LifeNut at JustBlueFish. I just bought a Speedmaster Racing Coaxial. What's your opinion? I mean, I'm not familiar with the specific model you're talking about. I just got the Moon Watch, which is not the coaxial. It's the manual hand wind version. I'm loving it. So, congrats on your Speedmaster. I hope you love it. And I'll be doing a big, long review on this watch pretty soon. But yeah, that specific model, I don't know. I'd have to look it up and maybe check it out before I could really say. But yeah, congrats, nevertheless. Sorry. Somebody was sending me a message on my phone. Let me turn my ringer off there. By the way, it's the gray dial with yellow hands. Yeah, sorry. It's funny, people, there's like some guys on here that are just encyclopedias of reference numbers and models, right? Like, it's crazy. Like, for example, you could just name off like a random watch, Rolex Yachtmaster, and they'll tell you the reference number, even though they aren't even really interested in that particular watch or a specific Seiko that they don't even own. I am not good with things like names and reference numbers. Whenever I do reviews, I got to write down, like, if it's numbers, I got to like write down notes so that I'll remember, like, what is the reference number, what are the measurements, things like that. For the most part, my reviews are kind of off the cuff, but I need to have those little notes for the numbers and stuff. It's just me. All right, what else do we got here? Jerry, Steinhart question mark. I've reviewed a couple Steinharts. I don't know if that question is to me directly or if you're talking to somebody else in the comments, but so far I've been pretty impressed with Steinharts. I think they're good. The Ocean 1 42 millimeter, I liked that. There was the titanium GMT. The GMT function on that watch is a little goofy, but that's not their fault. I guess it's ETA and they probably can't change it. But yeah, Steinharts are pretty good from my experience with them. What do we got here? The Watch Lounge. Don't forget Orion and Manta, both good micros. Boulder is great too. I did review the Manta, which was it? Their Field Watch one. The name escapes me. Like I said, I'm bad with names and stuff. I liked that watch a lot. It was pricey. I want to say it was 15, 16, 1800, something like that. Kind of pricey, but a good watch nonetheless. Joseph Fullk, I don't know how to pronounce your name, buddy. Sorry. What do you think of the Seiko tunas? They've never really appealed to me. I haven't seen one in person. Haven't spent any time with them. I'd like to, but I've never been really compelled to seek one out. The size, the style, the aesthetic, never really turned me on too much. Lawrence Terrell, what are your thoughts on the Stova Flieger Classic 40? I have looked at them on their website briefly. I don't know like specifically which one is which, so in general, I'll say that I've been interested in them. Fliegers tend to not be my favorite style of watch. I think they're cool. I like them, but I'd probably never own one. Just not exactly my thing, but the Laco and the Stova or Stova, however you pronounce that. Yeah, they both look cool. Yeah, I'd like to check one out someday. Same with Zin. I still haven't had a chance to check out Zin watches. And none of their models really super appeal to me. Like, I'm not dying to buy one, but I'd still like to get an idea of like quality and everything. Check them out. Hugo, what do you think of homage watches? Recently bought a Steinhart and everybody thought it was a Rolex, and I hated it and ended up selling it. I love homage watches. I've not been shy about saying that at all. If they're not for you, that's cool. They're not for you. They're not for everybody. But if there's a design you like, and usually it's the Rolex Submariner, that's the most common one, and you're not gonna ever be able to buy a Rolex Submariner, buy a Stein Art. That's great. It's awesome. Get a Invicta Pro Diver if you want to. You know, it doesn't matter. I think they're cool. I'm all for them. Who do we got here? Anonymous, kick JM out. I've been kind of glossing over all the comments, JM, I gotta be honest. How far away is Pluto? That was his last one. Yeah, well, he's not really that much of a problem yet, so we'll see. NI Addictive guy. Just bought a 2018 ceramic Aquis, and it's hands down better than any Black Bay, having owned them as well. Great channel, keep it going. Thanks, buddy, I appreciate it. Yeah, the Aquis is awesome. I reviewed the pre-updated version a little while ago. I'm gonna probably try to get one of the updated ones here eventually. The watch store that I borrow a lot of watches from here in my town, Exquisite Timepieces, they're an AD. They've got a few there. So yeah, I'm gonna check one of the new ones out. Anonymous, thoughts on tritium watches? Or titanium? Tritium, my eyesight's not great. Tritium, yeah. As far as like gas tritium tubes, yeah, I think it's cool. I reviewed that Marathon watch. It was like a field watch. I thought it was cool. A little too small, 34 millimeters. But the lume, the tritium gas tubes, that's really cool. Ball watches. I'll probably review a ball watch. I think Exquisite has ball watches. A lot of those, if not all of them, use tritium, don't they? Let me scroll on down here. What's next? I am not capable of keeping up with you guys. Robert Gordon, hey buddy, how you doing? Oris Aquis is my newest. Seems real good. Congrats on that. Hachi Zenki, every day under 500. Seiko? Those Seiko's no longer the bargain they used to be. That's the thing. I was kind of talking about that a few minutes ago. And there's a lot of micro brands that are kind of filling that bargain void using Seiko watches. Other than those, I mean, Hamilton is honestly my go-to high value sub $500 watch brand at this point. Khaki Field, I love the Khaki Field. I had a Khaki Navy Scuba. It wasn't bad. I liked it. Ended up selling it though because I already have a couple of divers, and I didn't want to flood my collection with divers. But yeah, under $500 value prop watches, Hamilton is what I would say. Watch Lounge, I have a 104 and a U1 from Zinn, both good watches. I'd want to check out the Zinn 556 if I could just pick any one. The 104 looks cool as well. I would check out those. I'm not familiar with the U1. Robert Gordon, if you want to check a Laco, let me know. I have one you can check out. Yeah, that'd be awesome, buddy. I appreciate it. You can shoot me an email anytime. Anyone has watches they'd like to loan in for review. Can always find my email in the descriptions and let me know what you have. I've got a bunch of stuff on loan right now, so it might be like in a couple of weeks or something. But yeah, if you want to talk about it, that'd be great. Tomas, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. I don't want to insult you. Hey, guy, greetings from Ireland. Any chance of a review of a Zinn 556 or similar narrow wrist problem? Yeah, like I had mentioned earlier in the stream, I'd like to review some Zinns. Not so much that I want to buy one, though. Like, I'm not super, like, they don't super appeal to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm probably not going to purchase one. But I would like to check them out. They have a great reputation. They have some pretty cool designs. We'll see what happens. You know, a lot of the watches that I get on review are loaned, so I'm at the mercy of you guys in that regard sometimes. LifeNut, it's at NI. I won't read that. Zinn makes a good-looking 356 Flieger too with copper dial. Looks great. I haven't seen that one. Mike, Hydro Pneumatic. Hello from the Netherlands. Hey, Mike. Thanks for coming. Ball watches use tritium in all of their watches. Yeah, LifeNut. That's what I thought. I wasn't 100% sure if it was all, but Seiko Presage, worth a look. Mike. Yeah, the Presage watches are actually pretty nice. All the ones that I have reviewed. Pricier. I mean, when you think about like Seiko. Generally, I mean, it was always thought of as like those like sort of high value watches, you know, like the Sarbs and the SARGs and everything. And a lot of the new Presages are starting to just step outside of that. So, but yeah, they're good watches. What else we got here? Do you have an Instagram account? I do. It's not super active. I'm not really active on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. I just like post when I have new videos, or on Instagram I'll post when I kind of like a preview of what's coming. So like if I have a watch that I'm going to review, I might post a picture of it on Instagram, and then on Facebook and Twitter I'll post when the videos are published. That's all I really use them for. But yeah, you should follow me on those. I got a giveaway coming up soon, and everyone that is following me on all of those platforms will be eligible for the giveaway. I don't know if you saw the review of the Devosa Argonautic BG. That's going to be one of the items in the giveaway. I teased that in my last live stream. Actually, I should tease something in this live stream, shouldn't I? And maybe I'll spill the beans because I'm going to be reviewing it. So the giveaway that's coming up, obviously the Devosa is going to be a part of it, and I've reviewed that already. I'm going to review a Wolf Viceroy watch winder, and that's going to be a part of the giveaway. Wolf sent that over to me. I got it about a week ago. It's really high quality. I'm never really thought like, hey, should I get a watch winder? But I keep getting asked, like, what do I recommend for watch winders? I've gotten that email or that question several times. So I reached out to Wolf and said, I want to be able to tell people what I think of these. So I'm going to review that, and then I'm going to give it away. And that's going to be a part of the big giveaway. So if you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, subscribe on here. If you're a member of the Horology 101 Facebook group, there's going to be a whole bunch of ways that you'll be eligible to win. And I'll do an official giveaway announcement eventually. But so far I have revealed a Devosa watch and a Wolf Viceroy single watch winder will be a part of the giveaway. So yeah, there you go. Instagram, that's how we got on that topic, apparently. What do we got here? Is that Ian Elash? Shalom from Israel. Guy, what's your take on the Grand Seiko 9F movement? Is the price for them justified? The only Grand Seiko I've really checked out so far up close and personal is the Snowflake with the spring drive, so I don't really have a super strong opinion formed of the 9F. My Watch AD, Exquisite Timepieces, that loans me watches, they have a Grand Seiko. They're an authorized dealer of Grand Seiko, so they have a Grand Seiko section. And hopefully I'll be able to borrow some more Grand Seikos in the future, and I'll be able to give you a better answer to that question at some point in the future. In general, if I just was going to make like a blanket statement, sort of uninformed, I'm guessing they're good movements just because Grand Seiko does some good stuff. Let's see, who's next here? LifeNut. Glycine makes great watches for the guy looking for the $500 range. Combat Sub is excellent. Yeah, I reviewed a Glycine. I liked them. I thought that was a good watch. Hey there, what about the Christopher Ward C65 Vintage Diver? Carlos says, I emailed Christopher Ward and asked them if I could borrow a watch because I get this question a lot too. What do I think of Christopher Ward? And they emailed me back and said, how long would you want it for? And I said, maybe 2 weeks. And that was the last I heard from them. I've emailed them back again, I don't know, 5 times. And they just haven't responded. I don't know if I'll ever get one from them or not, but I'd like to review a Christopher Ward, and that's where that stands. They look like cool watches. I'll be honest, the Christopher Ward logo being asymmetrically placed at the 9 o'clock kind of bugs me a little bit, but other than that, I think they look cool. Hachi also has the model, it's issue, blah, 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 terrorism unit. And I don't know a ton about that brand, Zin, but that's cool if they're actually issued watches to the German anti-terrorism unit. Very cool. Jet Young, buy a Presage, change the strap, bang for the buck. Yeah, that's the thing about Seikos, right? Like their leather straps are usually kind of lackluster. David Snipers, are you a bracelet guy or do you prefer leather? Do you think there's a sort of rule to choose what is the best of any kind of watch? Well, I prefer bracelets. So generally the advice that if someone asks me, like, what should I get? Should I get the, let's say, Hamilton Khaki Field? Because I made this mistake the first time around and I bought it on the leather, but I've had people ask me, should I get the Hamilton Khaki Field on the bracelet or should I get it on the leather? Get it on the bracelet, because it's super easy to get leather straps, good quality leather straps at just about anywhere. and generally you only have like the one OEM bracelet option. So in general, I think you should buy the bracelet, and then if you want to use other straps, you have lots and lots of options on the market. But regardless, for me personally, I prefer wearing watches on bracelets, which is why I had such a problem with whether or not I should get the Omega Speedmaster Professional, because the dealer sized it up for me and it didn't fit me very good. It was a little bit too tight, or if we put a link back in, it was way, way, way too loose. Then I went through the process of getting the adjustable clasp, and that cost an extra $200, and I installed it. Now I'm really happy. So yeah, bracelets all the way. Clive Watch Wrangler, hey, how you doing, Clive? Yeah, appreciate you jumping on here. RT Curtis, hello. What would your next Rolex be? Probably, realistically, I will next year get an Oyster Perpetual 36 millimeter with black dial, assuming something amazing isn't like released at the next Bezel World. If for some reason a new Pepsi Bezel GMT like fell into my lap, like my AD knows I kind of want one, like then I would obviously get that. But otherwise, the realistic answer is I'm probably going to get a 36 millimeter Oyster Perpetual. I just want like a casual, and I mean a Submariner is casual, right? That's not what I mean. Understated, I think that's the right word. I just want like a low profile understated watch like that, like the Oyster Perpetual. Maybe a date just on like a Oyster bracelet with a smooth bezel would be equally cool, but why spend the extra money? So yeah, I would probably go with that. Clive, I'm not really active, period. What is that in reference to? E-Guy NTX, I don't know how I would pronounce that. Hello from Dallas. Hey buddy, thanks for coming and joining us on the live stream. LifeNut, my future purchase is going to be a Yachtmaster 2 or an Hublot Big Bang. Which would you pick? I just checked out the Hublot Big Bang when I was over at Exquisite Timepieces here in Naples, and it was kind of impressive. I mean, the knock on it, I guess, is like their movements. I think they are pretty much just ETA movements at, you know, $10,000 and up price points. And I don't know if that's really a big deal. I mean, it's a good movement, so there's that, but everyone gets bent out of shape if it's not an in-house movement on a watch that's over like $2,000 or whatever. I don't know. I haven't really decided. The rest of the watch, though, like it was really cool. I like all of the different materials that they used. The rubber strap was amazing. If I was going to pick between the two, Rolex Yachtmaster 2 or Big Bang, I mean, I really don't like the Yachtmaster. That's like one of the Rolex watches that just does not appeal to me. So I'd probably say the Big Bang. But for yourself, you know, like, I don't know, which one do you like better? It's entirely up to what you dig. What's Clive say? Hey, Dallas guy, when you guys can, he's talking to someone else. Hublot Balarg says Hachi. I want a Grand Seiko for my 50th, Mike. Hey, any model in particular? That's another option that I was thinking about. I had mentioned next year I might get the Oyster Perpetual 36. I'm also considering, and I got to see if I can find one in person to check out, one of the 37 millimeter Grand Seikos. There is two models, if I'm not mistaken, that are 37 millimeters, an automatic and a quartz. And I'm not ruling out the quartz as an option, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, a Grand Seiko or maybe a Rolex Oyster Perpetual, both kind of options. Blue Shirt Buddha, hello everyone. Hey buddy, thanks for coming and checking out the stream. I'm gonna do an email because this one is another question that I got a little while ago. Let me pull it up real quick. This was from Gordon. He says, long story short, I won't read the whole email. He's going to get a Submariner, and when he does, he has to decide, should he flip his Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean 2500D 42 millimeter, or should he flip his Tudor Black Bay Blue Bezel ETA? And I replied to the email, and my reply was kind of like, if you asked me tomorrow, I might have a different answer. I'm not really sure. Like, it's a coin flip. I'm not super crazy about either watch. They're both good watches, don't get me wrong. Omega Planet Ocean, Tudor Black Bay. I kind of like them both, but I'm not really crazy about either. So my answer to that question could literally change at like the whim of my I don't know, my attitude that day. I said in the email I would probably flip the Planet Ocean because I think the Tudor is a little more kind of classic and cool looking. And like today, I don't know, I almost have changed my mind again. And maybe because the Tudor is so similar to the Submariner, maybe I keep the Planet Ocean because it's significantly different in terms of style. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should he, when he gets his Submariner, should he flip his Omega Planet Ocean or should he flip his Tudor Black Bay ETA? Maybe he's watching or we'll watch later. He'll appreciate the response from you guys as well. Moving along the live stream comments here. Clive, forget the Kermit, get a Daytona. Yeah, Clive, are you gonna get that Kermit or what? Speaking of Clive, can you look at your camera every once in a while? Not looking at me when not looking at me when you're talking. It's like you're one of my wives about to file divorce papers. I'm sorry, Clive. But my camera's here and all of the text and everything is here. LifeNut, does Tudor and Chopard have any connection? I don't really know anything about Chopard, to be completely honest, other than I know they exist. I've never even looked at their website. Elite Mathlete, is 34 millimeters too small for a men's watch? Question mark. Thanks. I don't think so. Not in general. I guess if you have an 8.5-inch wrist, it might look a little small. Maybe. It doesn't really matter, though. Whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah. I would say no, though, in general. 34 is not too small. Depends on the other dimensions, lug width, 34 with a 16 millimeter lug width. Yeah, that would look kind of dainty. But if it's a 34 with a 20 millimeter lug width, and if the lug to lug or the wingspan of the watch was, reasonable, 44, 45, 46 millimeters, I think it'd be fine. I'd wear that. Mike Hydro, somebody with a beard makes you think of one of your wives. Yeah, Clive. If I remind you of a wife, you have terrible taste in women, my friend. Terrible taste. Tony C, hi guy, good to see you on the live stream. Thanks for coming, buddy. Appreciate it. Clive, depends on the watch and your wrist. 34 millimeter Air King with balloon dial does the job. Yeah, Clive's Air King looks awesome, and he makes it work. And he's got big man wrists. Mike Hydro Pneumatic, no questions. I rest my case. Casual Rolex, no love for Milgauss, says Hashi Zenki. I don't love the Milgauss. Somebody that's loaned me a lot of watches, viewer of the channel, is kind of obsessed with the Milgauss. I actually did a collection review video, and it was really cool because he's a fantastic photographer. So he sent me all these beautiful high definition pictures of all of his watches. He has a really nice 8 or 10 watch collection, all decent, high-ish level luxury watches, nothing crazy like Pateks, Rolexes and Omegas and everything. And anyway, he is just crazy about the Milgauss, that green crystal tint. Nah, it doesn't really turn me on. I think, for a casual Rolex, the Explorer could be a really good option, except that the 39 millimeter just didn't jive with me. I wish it was still a 36. But yeah, the Oyster Perpetual or a simple Datejust, that's where I'm going. James Duffy, hi guy, hi guys. Hey James, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for popping in. Elite Mathlete, I think that's directed at Clive. Scrolling along here. Watch collecting strategy. What's up, guy? Hey, Abe. How you doing, buddy? Glad to see you on here. Hydro. SBGA 003 Spring Drive. What is the SBGA 003? Like I'd mentioned earlier. People probably missed it. I always have to look up reference numbers. Like I'm not a walking encyclopedia when it comes to reference numbers. Oh yeah, that's a nice looking watch. What is that, SPGA? I guess size wise, the current model would be like 203 instead of triple or double lot 3, right? So let me go on Grand Seiko's website. Yeah, 203 spring drive. I think that's going to be a bigger watch, right? Yeah, 41 millimeters. So it's kind of in that same ballpark as the Snowflake. And the Snowflake, like, it just felt a little too big to me. Beautiful watch. I loved it, except for the size. I wish it was a little bit smaller. But yeah, that's where my tastes have been going. Blue shirt, Buddha. Hey pal, great to see you doing a live stream. Thank you for joining us. I cannot keep up with all of your comments. Let's keep going here. I hear the Yachtmaster 2. This is LifeNut. I hear you on the Yachtmaster 2. Some don't like it, but I like it. It's a bit busy. It just seems like everyone and their mother has a Pepsi Batman Hulk sub. Yeah, I mean, if you like it, that's all that matters. Just because I'm not a huge fan of it is irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like, I probably have watches that people don't like. People ask me to review it. Actually, I don't know, what did I pay for it? $25 two-toned, like gold-plated and stainless steel Seiko quartz from 1985 that I bought a while back because I wanted to like test drive a two-tone watch. I was thinking about and it's a 36 millimeter, so I specifically wanted to test drive a 36 millimeter two-tone watch for like no money. So I bought that watch, but I talked about it in 1 or 2 videos, and people keep asking me to review it. Like, you guys really want to see a Seiko quartz review? Like a 1985 Seiko quartz that I paid $25 for? Maybe I will someday, but I'm surprised that there's any interest in seeing that. But, I'm guessing that people wouldn't like that watch is my point. And also, it's like a good way to test drive different like styles and sizes of watches. How much to super chat for you to chug a beer or eat a whole pizza on screen? Clive asks me. I don't think there's probably a realistic number. I don't drink alcohol, and I literally just ate, so I would probably vomit if I ate a whole pizza on screen. Ox Rider, hey, what's up? Chris G here. Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy? Robert Gordon, flip the BB to me. Must be talking to someone else there. The Watch Lounge, what's your thoughts on the El Primero tricolor chrono? It's funny that you ask that. I have been bugging my buddy Chris to let me borrow his a little bit subtly. I'm not trying to pressure him into it, but I want to review one. I want to check one out. They look really cool, and I think he has the 38.5 millimeter one, which is like the perfect size for me. So yeah, I'd like to check them out. I've never seen one in person. I don't know if there's a Zenith dealer nearby me. I haven't seen one. I haven't really looked, but yeah, that'd be cool. Let's see. Hachi. Oh, that was Flip the Planet Ocean, Keep the ETABB. That was in reference to the email that I read. Yeah. I don't know. I could go either way on that one. Moving along, you need Robert Gordon. You need a teleprompter? Do I? Maybe. I don't know. I definitely can't keep up with all the comments here. James Duffy. Most of my wrists are 34 millimeters, and you're perfect size for a dress watch. I don't have any 34s, but yeah, it's not a bad size. I've checked a few out. Let's see. LifeNut. Rolex Explorer 2, white or black dial? Probably white dial. MGR 1911. I've worn steel sports stunners for 40 years and bought a new Datejust 41 2 weeks ago. Such a nice watch. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Should have went with a 36 though, in my opinion. But whatever works for you. What's the MRG 1911, by the way? I assume 1911 is the pistol. What's MRG? Out of curiosity. Clive, you should shave your beard. Would you look like the dean from the Community? I don't know what the Community is, but almost nobody mentioned this or like commented. Not that I care. I'm not looking for like attention, but my beard was like super long. People were like making comments like, "Wow, your beard's growing." Watching every week, your beard gets a little bit longer, and then I cut it all short. Like, I don't know, a week ago or whatever. Like one or two people noticed or mentioned it. Maybe nobody noticed. I don't know. Maybe my wife noticed. She was happy. So that's probably all that matters. Moving along here. Kevin Sayer, favorite GMT? I mean, I guess the Pepsi. I don't really have like a need for a GMT function at all. I never travel. I don't really know anybody in like other time zones that's important enough that I would want to set it. Like I don't have family in like, London or whatever. I have no use for a GMT. So if I got a GMT, it would just be like for aesthetics, and like the Pepsi is like the most aesthetically pleasing one to me. So that's, the one that I would want, I guess. Tanzil, wow, they just let anyone in here at Clive. Hey, Tanzil, nice to see you. I don't know that. I'm not stopping anyone. Clive's always welcome. So yeah, I'll let anyone in. Blue shirt Buddha was at the local Rolex 80 today, and the only sports models they had were yellow gold Daytona, yellow gold Sub, yellow gold GMT Master 2, and white gold Pepsi. That's it. My AD that I go into from time to time, like they'll usually have an Explorer or an Air King or something. Once, like maybe like 1 out of 4 visits, they'll have one type of Submariners in stainless steel. But yeah, it's hit or miss for sure. Hashi Timex is following up their Marlin reissue with the Marlin Blackout. I actually saw that, and I think it looks cool. I don't know if I would buy one for myself just because I don't really need. It's kind of dressy, and like I never dress up. I don't have a big use for a dress watch, but yeah, it looks cool. I think I might like the blackout version better. What else do we got here? Clive, MRG 1911. If you came here to express anal glands, I'd be squeezing your head right about now. That's weird, dude. I must have missed a comment or something because I don't have any idea what that's about. But we'll move right along. Let's see. Hashtag white dial privilege. Nice. LifeNut. Do you have a regular job outside of the YouTube thing? I do web design, graphic design, web programming, some like database stuff like that. So yes, sort of. It's like intermittent, I guess is the way I would describe it. Watch collecting strategy. What's your collection goals, guy? What's next after the Speedy? I had mentioned it a little while ago. Maybe it was before you came in. I'm probably next year looking at getting a 36mm Oyster Perpetual black dial. Or maybe a 37mm Grand Seiko. That's another option that I will consider. So I don't know. Those are like the next things that I have like my eyes on. But it's a long ways off, like probably a year, 8, 9, 10 months. I mean, we'll see. Next summer, though, most likely. Well, I've caught up. I have actually caught up to the bottom of the chat log. That's awesome. I will read another email or answer another email. You guys can comment as well. Somebody sent me the other day. Where is it? Advice requested. No, that's not the right one. Is that it? Yeah. So this guy sent me an email last week, and I replied to it already, but we'll talk about it here. It's, I guess, an interesting topic. He bought a sub date, and it was meant as like a wedding like celebration occasion or whatever. He went to the AD and They didn't have one, and am I reading this right? I purchased my first Rolex sub date. It was meant to be a wedding date. I went to the AD wanting a no date and was told that they didn't have one. Would I like to see the date? I said sure. I thought it was beautiful. There was another customer there, and he kind of egged me on to buy it. And he was wearing his Hulk, blah, blah, blah. So he bought it. And now he regrets buying the date. Or I'm sorry, he regrets buying the no date because he really wanted the date. And he wants some advice if he should get rid of it and just wait to get the date version or just live with it. Obviously I prefer the sub date. That's the one that I went with. So if I went into the AD basically and they didn't have the sub date and they had a no date and I just bought it kind of impulse because I wanted a Submariner, no, I'd probably just keep it. Just keep the no date. Like I could be happy with either one. I prefer one over the other, I guess, but yeah, I would just be happy with it. We got some more comments rolling in here. James Duffy, I want a Rolex OP36 black dial too, but I'm afraid I'll get bored of it. So here's the thing that I'm thinking of, right? Because that's like the main contender for my next watch. And yeah, I see what you would mean. Like maybe you would get bored of it because it's a simple watch. It's really understated. What other watches do you have though? Like, I have the Submariner that's got a date. It's got the Cyclops, rotating bezel. Now I just picked up the Speedmaster Moon watch. That's kind of complicated, not really flashy for me being a boring guy. So I kind of want something really simple and understated, something that kind of like I feel the same way about my Hamilton khaki field, for example. It's really simple, it's really understated, but that couldn't ever like play the duty of like a dress watch, and I feel like an OP36 could. Like I could throw that on leather, and in those rare occasions that I would need a dress watch, that would suffice. So I don't think I would get bored of it because I have so many other cool things to mix it up with. I guess it would depend on, what else you have. Maybe you would get bored of it. I gotta run. Good to see you, Blue. Hey, 1911, thanks for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it. LifeNut, if you get bored of it, then sell it and get something new, just like ours. I mean, yeah, for sure. That's, the other side of the coin. Make sure that you buy it for a good price, and if you get bored of it, just go ahead and sell it. It's not a big deal. I would imagine even brand new from an AD, you could probably get an OP36 for a pretty good discount. I don't know, 20% wouldn't shock me. Like when I bought my sub, I got 12%. When I bought my first watch from the AD, which was the Explorer, I got 10% off. So I'm hoping when I go to buy the OP36, I'll get at least 15, but I'm going to shoot for 20. We'll see what happens. Neo, hello humanity. I see my friend. I see many friends here. Nice. Hey Neo, thanks for joining us. I looked at a Snowflake and other Grand Seikos today. Awesome. Which one did you buy? That's the question, right? James, yeah, good point. I have a lot of no-date watches already, so that's something I need to consider. I had someone asking me about no-date watches, and like I have my sub date, so that's why I'm not afraid of getting an Oyster Perpetual 36 with no date. If I didn't have the sub date, then maybe I would get a date just in 36 millimeters on the Oyster bracelet with a smooth dome bezel. So you could go either way. If you need a date watch, get a date just instead. Just pick the dial combination that you like. But it's just like an Oyster Perpetual, except it's got a date, right? KnifeNut, do you have any plans on picking up a Tudor Black Bay Pepsi? I don't really have a plan. No, I mean, again, I had mentioned like I don't need a GMT watch. The only reason that I would probably get a GMT watch is because I really like the look of the Rolex Pepsi. I don't like the look of the Tudor Pepsi as much. A couple of things. Number one, I don't really seem to care for, as I'm finding out, having reviewed a couple of Tudor watches recently, I don't like the snowflake hands. It doesn't do it for me. On the Black Bay 36, I thought that they were way too overpowering, and I had expected that it wouldn't bother me as much on the Black Bay dive watch, but it still does bother me. So I have no reason to believe that I would suddenly like it on the Black Bay GMT Pepsi. Number two, that I feel like the date window is positioned really kind of awkwardly on that watch. Maybe if I had it in hand in person, I'd feel differently about it. This is mostly just based off of pictures and stuff. But yeah, I'm not in love with it. And I get that they had to kind of position it in a way that you could still see it because it's got that big stupid snowflake shape on the GMT hand as it's going by or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of things about that watch that don't super appeal to me. I guess there's been some problems with the movement. I've seen a lot of people talking about having issues with the date flip on that in-house movement that they're using there. I'm sure that'll get ironed out. It's not a big deal if you get it with a warranty and there does happen to be a problem with your watch, you know, it'll be resolved. So that's not a huge issue, but I don't want to be a guinea pig testing out a brand new movement. That's something that's really nice about the Rolexes is, you know, by and large, the movements are super solid, like tested for decades. Like, you know, you get what you're getting. And with some of those Tudor movements, I feel like I'm being asked to be a little bit of a guinea pig. So yeah, long story short, no, I don't really have any plans on picking up a Black Bay Pepsi. It looks like, you know, a decent watch. I'm not saying like nobody should. It's just not for me. Neo, brand new AD. If they gave a discount on the Snowflake, I would have bought it. No discount at all? Like you asked, I assume, and they said no. That's crazy. My AD that loans me watches, exquisite timepieces. If you're interested in buying one, like I'd be more than happy to ask what they'll do for you. I won't get like anything for it, but they're good people, and you should really actually think about this. If you, all of you guys, if you're ever into like ready to buy a watch, buy in the summer from Florida if you can. So here's how I got 12% off on my Submariner. I went into the AD last September, right after Hurricane Irma came through. They had been closed for 2 or 3 weeks because the power had been out everywhere. I evacuated, right? And then I came back 10, 12 days later, and they had just opened. Now, on top of that, Florida is seasonal. So June, July, August, September, it's dead here. So you call up a dealer in Miami or in Naples, anywhere in South Florida, and you're like, hey, I want to buy a watch. They haven't probably made a sale in a while. So big tip, if you're looking to buy a watch in the summertime, call dealers in Florida because they're seasonal and they're looking to make sales. So that's how I got 12% off of my Submariner. I went in and I was like, I'm ready to buy today. What can you do? And, you know, 12% was the number we agreed on. Maybe I could have beat them up even more. I don't know. Being as how they were just, you know, recovering from getting over the hurricane and being closed and everything. What else do we got here? Clive. Classic Rolex Pepsi greater than new Rolex Pepsi. Greater than Tudor Diet Pepsi. Classic greater than new. Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm not sure. Maybe. Neo Clyde. I was talking watches to real people today, and he was calling the Tudor Diet Pepsi. That's funny. I have a buddy that works at it's Tudor Breitling and Cartier authorized dealer, and I haven't talked to him in a little while. He used to be a salesman at the Rolex AD, and he moved over to this other AD. And when he was at the Rolex AD, he was really nice to me. He loaned me some of his personal watches. He loaned me his Royal Oak to do a review on. He loaned me a Breitling. He loaned me a Fortis. He has a great collection. But anyway, since he's moved over to the Tudor / Breitling / Cartier AD, I haven't gone in and seen him. I should go in there and ask him. People are calling it the Diet Pepsi there, or if he's caught on to that yet. But yeah, that's funny. Diego, Hey there, cheers from Barcelona. My last purchase was the Khaki Field 38. Your review was very influential, and they now have 3 of the Khaki line. I recommend you take a look at the King 40mm silver dial. First of all, congrats on the Khaki Field 38. One of my favorite watches. I think they're great. I just got the Khaki replaced, I guess technically the Khaki Field Mechanical 38. I reviewed that one a while ago, and I had some problems with it. I sent it back, and then my wife got it for me again for my birthday recently. I have reviewed the Khaki King 40, but not the silver dial. It was the black dial. If for my money, like black dials are usually where I go. I don't think I would do a silver dial in that watch, but it's an awesome watch otherwise. And yeah, black dials matter. Hashtag, I guess. Neo, I owned the Tudor GMT for 2 weeks before it broke. I still don't have it back. What did yours break? Was it the date flip problem that everybody else is having, Neo? Shoot, Neo, tough break, says Clive. Yeah, that does suck. I wonder if she's saying what was the actual problem. Neo, I might have it back in 2 weeks. Yeah. Hachi Zenki Cartier. Ask him if you can borrow a Santos for review. I don't think he personally owns one, and I've never asked if their store would loan me watches. I might ask him actually. It's kind of touchy, like the Rolex AD. When I went in there and said, "Could I borrow some watches for a review?" He said, "No, with insurance and whatnot, we can't do it. But you're welcome to come down here and film anytime you'd like, and we'll set you up in a private room." So I've filmed a few Rolex watches down at the authorized dealer. Whereas Exquisite Timepieces does allow me to take watches home to do my reviews on. So it's just up to the dealer and like what they're comfortable with and like insurance and everything. I would guess. I don't know. I'll ask him. I'm gonna guess that I probably won't be able to borrow one though, but you never know. Couldn't hurt. Do you know Eric from CRM Jewelers? He loves the sunglasses indoors, says LifeNut. No, I don't know him. He's in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm on the west coast of Florida, not the east coast. That's like probably a 2-hour drive from here. Tim Lara, similarly, I like the nickname of the new affordable Seiko solar tuna homage of the famous golden tuna, the Fool's Gold tuna. I have not heard that one yet. That's interesting. Xavier, hi from Barcelona. Here's my question. Do you have much I don't have much money, but want to save for a timepiece. Love Tudor design. Better than buying a Rolex, or is it worth the upgrade? So you're on a budget. You love the Tudor. But so you're asking, is it better to just buy a Rolex, like hold out and wait for the Rolex? I mean, in my opinion, technically yes, but I like the style and the aesthetic of the Submariner more than the Black Bay, and that's a big factor for me. If you really like the Tudor, I mean, it's a great watch. Like the in-house movement's nice. It's thick, like 14.8 or something. Like it's a really thick watch, so you really got to like the way it wears on the wrist. But if that is the case, I mean, yeah, it's really nice. I can't say don't buy the Tudor. For me personally, like I prefer the sub significantly more though. So take that, for what it's worth. Neo, no, it would stop about 2 minutes into running. So your new Tudor GMT, it's not even the like common date flip problem that yours broke. It just totally crapped the bed. That sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. Clive, save your safe for what you really love. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Great advice. Yeah, I mean, I love the sub, so that's what I went with. If you love the Tudor though, like save the money, and get that. If you prefer the Rolex, don't settle. Get what you want, even if it takes you another year or more to save up for it. I think that most people are probably going to say that that's the way you should go. Yes, he has a YouTube channel, CRM Jewelers, LifeNut. Oh yeah, I've seen his channel. Eric from CRM. I've never met him personally. I thought that's what you were asking, if I know him personally. I don't. I have seen his channel though. I guess I'm probably gonna wrap it up here. I've been on for just over an hour. I appreciate everyone that came and had all the questions. Oh, it looks like we have people still rolling in. CFZ, hi guy. Hey buddy, I'm just about to wrap it up. Sorry. Clive, tutors do more flips than gymnasts. Yeah, I've heard that. Very, very flipped watches. Tim, Laura, what was it you liked better about the Sub than the Explorer? Man, I could talk about that for another hour. It's really weird. Like the Explorer, aesthetically, I still think like that dial is beautiful. I love the 369 dial in general. It's just like when I first got it, I thought it was going to be perfect. And the more and more I had it, the longer I had it, the less and less I loved it. And it just, I don't know, like very, very difficult to describe. The size of the Explorer just comes off for me as a little big. The 39 on paper doesn't sound like it, but like the way the dial is so spread out. The bezel is really wide from edge to edge. The proportions just started to feel more and more off to me the longer that I had it. I don't know. I wish they would bring it back in 36 millimeters. I think it would be a real serious contender for me. But something about the size at 39 just didn't do it for me. It was uncomfortable for some reason. Like I could never get a good fit. Now the Easy Link extension is all but useless in my opinion. 5 millimeters is too much one way or the other. I know that inside the bracelet there's manual little 3 steps that you can, with a spring bar tool, move it in and out, and probably about 2 millimeter increments. I'm well aware of that. I've tried them all, and I could just never get a nice, comfortable fit on the wrist. You know, being in South Florida, going from super hot, humid weather into super cold, air-conditioned weather, back and forth, like wrist sizes are always changing. Maybe that's something to do with it. I found the edges of the case and the bracelet to be a little crisp, and it would really bite into my skin. Just, I don't know, it was just a cascade of more and more things with that Explorer 39 millimeter that just, over the course of months, I just couldn't bond with it, you know? It's basically what it boils down to. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. And again, say thanks for everyone coming by and all of the great questions and chat. I really appreciate it. I will, I don't know, probably do another live stream maybe every other week. I'm not going to do them super, super regular, but occasionally I'll keep it up. And hopefully I'll have more guests. I did a live stream 2 weeks ago with David from the Horology 101 Facebook group. And, you know, maybe I'll be able to get some more guests on here for future ones. Maybe Clive will do one with me. That would be awesome. And yeah, that's it for now. Thanks, guys. Take care. Have a good night. Bye.